But in the beginning, assuming the puppy is relatively comfortable with your assistant can hold their body or hold them by the harness, depending. So the way it's going to go is you'll be engaging your puppy. So we always start off engagement, right? So you're getting the dog's attention, you're feeding the dog for paying attention, and then your assistant comes up while the dog's working with you, and I stand next to the dog while you continue to reward them. Then I reach down and touch the dog, and you continue to reward them. Then I stand up again. I get the dog used to me coming up and holding their focus on you even though I'm there with them, right? If I just come up and grab them and you run, and I do that a couple times, they get weird about me coming up. Every time that guy comes up, he's going to grab me, and my person's going to run away, and they start trying to avoid me. They get distracted and nervous by me. I want them to kind of ignore me, right? A lot of times, if they are used to a harness and they have a leash, they'll drag the leash, and you're engaging them, and I go pick up the leash, and I follow you around while you're doing engagement till the puppy's just totally ignoring me. I'm walking with you. I've got a puppy on the leash. I pull back on the leash, and you reward them, and I just get them used to that whole picture. And then periodically in there, you just take off running, and I hold the dog back, and we're ready to call them. So we engage the dog. They come up. I hold the dog. And then while I'm holding the dog, either by the harness or the body, the handler's in front of the dog like this, and we say, hey, puppy, ready, puppy, puppy. And you get the puppy excited, you move back a few steps, and if the puppy's trying to get to you, you say come or here or whatever you're going to say as your recall command, and that's your signal for the assistant to let go of the dog, right? But you don't call the dog unless the dog's trying to get to you. So if I'm there looking at the dog and I go pop, 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 and I'm like this, and the dog's like trying to get to me, then come, let him go, right? If I'm running back, pop, 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 and the dog's like, don't call them. Come back up, feed them again, get their attention. You can be really close in the beginning. You don't have to be far away. None of that stuff, right? So you're the one that dictates whether you recall the dog. And you recall the dog only if you're certain that the dog's going to come to you, right? So if we're teaching recalls, we've talked a little bit about this idea about not putting commands on behaviors until you're certain the dog's going to do it, right? So how am I certain the dog's going to come when called in the beginning? If they've never heard come before, how am I certain that if I say that sound, they're going to come? Well, one of the things I do with my puppies, as I already told you, I teach them to chase me. So every time I run, my puppy chases me. So if I'm working by myself and my puppy's really good at chasing me, I could say come and then run, and I'd be pretty certain they're going to chase me. But in the beginning, you're not necessarily sure. But if I do a restrained recall, I can look at the puppy and tell if the puppy's going to come. If the puppy's trying to get to me, I'm pretty certain they're coming, so I can say come right off the bat. And they come running, or whatever word you want, right? So once I call the dog, here comes the puppy. As the puppy comes towards you, you say yes when they're getting close, and then you run backwards, all right? And you're going to run backwards past the point that the puppy gets to you. The most important backing up you do in this exercise is the backing you do as the dog's getting to you. Lots of people run backwards, and as the dog gets to them, they stop to deliver the reward. But the puppy's running at you. So if you stop, they're going to do one of two things: plow into you, or run past you because they don't want to plow into you, right? So, and as they get bigger, plowing into you is a problem. The dog runs right into your knees and injures you, right? So my backing up not only pulls the dog towards me, provides motivation to chase me, but also absorbs their energy as they're getting to you. It's like catching a ball, right? You don't catch a ball like this. And your hand will hurt. You catch a ball like this, right? You go with it. You absorb it. So as the dog comes to me, I say, I'm backing up, I'm feeding them, but I keep running backwards as I feed them. And I'll feed them multiple pieces in a row. Feed, feed, feed. And then I slow down and I stop, right? So that whole process of I kept moving until after the dog was to me several steps, right? And then once I were there, I fed them several times. Now I stop. You're still working. When you do recalls, don't just feed your dog and then let your dog run off again, right? You do an engagement session every time they get back to you. So they get back to you and you're going to have a sustained reward. They get back, reward, 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 stop. Yes, reward, reward, stop. Yes, reward, 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 stop. Yes, reward, stop. Yeah, da, da, da. And I keep doing that. And while you're engaging the dog, your assistant slowly makes their way back down to you. You don't send the dog back to the assistant. Your assistant walks down, comes back to you, hangs out there. You keep engaging the dog, and they put their hands on the dog. You keep feeding the dog, and then they're ready, and you do another.